Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to do exponential regression in two ways, Excel and on your calculator. So what you have is data. You have a function that I give you that represents the Ebola growth, and what you need to do is find some points on that. Once you find the points, you can bring them into Excel, and you're going to want Excel. So I just made up points. These aren't the points from your curve, or they shouldn't be. But I just made up some points to show you the process. So what you can do is go to Insert, Scatter Plot, and just pick this regular scatter plot. It'll show you a plot of your data. You can kind of check that to make sure it looks like the given graph from the article. But Excel can do a little bit better. Excel can say, all right, add trend line. That's another name for a function. We got to tell it what kind of function we think it is, which we think it's exponential. We also want to give it a little help and set the intercept. That is, the y-intercept is at 0, 10, based on the values that we looked at. That's going to help get a more accurate function. And then I want to see what the equation is. All right, and that's it. There we go. That was easy. So you see it's never going to be perfect, but it's going to try and fit the best it can. So this line is the graph of 10e to the 0.819x. The data doesn't exactly follow that, but you want to do the best you can. That's modeling, right? And we get a pretty accurate function here that goes through those data points. You can also do it on the TI-84. What I would want to do here is plug in those points, or any points, to my calculator, and I have to do that in the Stat menu. So I click Stat, and I go to Edit, Enter, and this will allow me to plug stuff into my list, which I've already done, 1, 4, 2, 9, whatever points. These are just examples, right? You'll have different points. Okay, so Stat, Edit, and then you plug your data in, and then your calculator will do the same thing. It'll draw a regression line. It'll give you the regression function. You can also graph it, of course, on your calculator. So how do I do that? Well, I go back to Stat, and I want to go to Calculate, and then go down, and here's different types of regression: linear regression, quadratic regression, and so on. And I want to do exponential regression because I think my function is an exponential function. So I hit Enter, and what you have to tell your calculator is your inputs and your outputs. So my inputs were housed in L1 under that Stat menu. That's something I didn't say before. Those are my input values, and L2 were my output, right? Just like when I did it in Excel. Input these values, output these values. Same in the calculator. Okay, so I got to tell the calculator that. So the L1 you'll see is my second one. So that says do exponential regression, plug in my input from L1, separate with a comma, that's what you have to do, and take my outputs from L2. This will spit out my function. You will notice it doesn't use base E. It just uses the base that it wants to use, basically, in this case 2.25. And A is the starting point. So the function then would be y equals 1.7 times 2.25 to the x. So instead of doing e to some multiple of x, your calculator wants to do it this way. It wants to have only x in the exponent, so it'll adjust the base accordingly. And that's fine. Okay, but we prefer our function to have base e. And there's a way to change 2.25 to base e. All right, but either will be acceptable for your project. And in the next video, or the sine video, I'm going to use this calculator to do sine-u soil regression.